The family of a doctor shot to death in a Tucson road rage incident is heartbroken after what they feel is an unjust sentence.
In tonight's 13 Crime Files, we hear more about the law that is at fault for this and how the family is now pushing for change when it comes to self-defense laws in Arizona.
My husband and I are from Texas. We both have permits to carry. You know, we are not against guns. But again, it's a responsibility. You know, we all need to be responsible for our choices.
Dr. Jeffrey Honer was shot and killed in what Pima County Sheriff's Department officials called a road rage incident in March of 2024. Honer was killed by Jason Jamison while out making house calls with a group of nurses. Honer was unarmed, though Jamison claimed self-defense. And this is where the family believes the problem lies. They call the self-defense laws in Arizona broken. In our state, once a defendant presents sufficient evidence to support a claim of self-defense, the burden shifts to the prosecution to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the self-defense was not justified.
The prosecution's scared that they can't get a conviction. So I asked the prosecutor that's currently on the case how he'd like to see the law changed. And he said, I'd like it to be like the other states. I'd like it so that if you claim self-defense, if you shoot an unarmed man in the back, you kind of have to explain that.
And it's because of this distinction that Jamison now faces 1 to 3.5 years in prison and probation up to 4 years, a sentence the Honer family says does not amount to the crime. I reached out to the Pima County Attorney's Office about the sentencing, and in a statement, they tell me, the Pima County Attorney's Office has reviewed this case, and consistent with all other homicide cases, the case was presented to the homicide panel, where the facts and applicable law were extensively discussed. A plea was offered consistent with the determination of the homicide panel. So now, those who loved Dr. Honer are pushing for change while educating others on the law.
We cannot stay quiet. Stories like ours need to be heard. We need the public to be aware that this is what is happening. This is what is happening in Arizona. People don't know the effect and how these laws are.
If things don't change, this is going to happen again. There will be more victims. There's going to be more families down the road, that are going to be left without fathers, mothers, and if the laws don't change, then it will happen again. There's just going to be more victims.
If you feel like a law is unjust or unfair, you try to have that law changed rather than disobey it. All right. This is that attempt. We need this law changed.
I can't believe that people justify solving an argument, even if it was an argument, with a gun. If we all go to a gun every time we disagree, what's going to happen of our world?
Jamison is scheduled to be sentenced next Monday. We will have our cameras in the courtroom to bring you the sentencing decision.